So it is March 7th, 2022. I'm wearing my cap here in this video because my hair is sticking up like a bird, um, which happens. It's crazy. It's like I'm a toddler again. Um, so where we are in time is just past the 4-year mark of my ovarian cancer battle. And this is actually just a video to put some memories to film, um, because that's easier, for the future, for future generations, and then the current generation that may not know. So I personally was born on May 12th, 1982, and I was 2 weeks late. My sister was as well, but just quickly, because to kind of snapshot where I'm going with this time, I'm going to give you the first memory I actually have. But my parents decided to move to Fayette County, Pennsylvania, just a month or two, excuse me, after my birth. I was born here in Brunswick, Georgia, and obviously raised in St. Mary's and everything. At the time of my birth, my so we were living in my grandmother Vivian Smith's house. To her great-grandchildren, she was Mimi. So as a family, so the three of us, and we had, I guess in that time frame, she was expecting me, and my father's mother and sister had already come down once for their wedding to kind of check out this girl that my dad was marrying, and tried to talk him out of it as well because he was too young, even though mom was younger than him. Which they loved him, and they didn't want him to be separated from them. And they knew that was a possibility with him marrying a Georgia girl. But Nanny Panzone came down again around the time of my birth, to be here when I was born. So she was. There is in a way, a fight that took place between the grandmothers. When my mother went into labor, she was told by Nanny Panzone, you need to wait because we're not going to take you to Brunswick right away. Just go lay down for a while. It's going to take a long time. It's your first child. And when Grandma Smith walked in, found out she was in labor, she was like, let's get in the car, let's get out of here, and was confronted with this, to her, foolishness talk. It pissed her off. Grandma Smith did not. She got angry. She was very reactive, but she usually didn't do it to people's faces unless it was warranted. If it was about her kids, or if somebody was pushing her around, she would. But she was more, walk away under her breath. That was more of a thing to her. She was reactive in how she interacted. I mean, she didn't have a short fuse, but she didn't take no crap either. So she would kindly tell somebody something when she was herself. Unless it was her kids, then she would just tell them, or her husband when he was alive. So that was a kind of a squabble between the two, in a way, two grandmothers. But Grandma Smith called her sister, I think it was Rabbit, which is McEachran, is the last name, very, very close to our family, in Oak Grove Cemetery. But and she came and was trying to get her to go and stuff. Mom finally goes this time, and I was born. A couple months later, my parents moved to Pennsylvania, Fayette County, searching for a job. Dad had gotten out of the Navy right around the time that I was born. So I wasn't born in Hawaii, which sucks. Um, he was going to go on sub duty, and he didn't want to. He said, I'm too fat for a submarine, so he got out. So we were there a total of 7 months, around 7 months, and came home. Went back to Grandma Smith's house. Um, when Megan was born, is the first memory I actually have in here. Um, she was born May 29th, 1985. She was also 2 weeks late. And on the next day, I knew it was the next day, I was supposed to meet the baby for the first time. And my parents obviously are at the hospital, right? And I I remember seeing Erica's face. And I remember being put in a dress that belonged to Jennifer. I knew that. So I'm assuming that Erica told me that. Um, but I knew it. The thought was in my mind. And I remember my nails were painted, and I had on the little Mary Jane shoes, and I was cute. I was cute. It was awesome. And it's like snips in my mind of memory. Okay, I don't remember everything, but I do remember the next thing I remember is like the biggest moment. I don't remember seeing Megan for the first time, but I do remember walking down this hallway, and it was so white. The walls were white, the floors were white, the ceiling was white, and it was huge to me. And my right hand was all the way up like this because Dad was so tall. I was just under 3 years old. And he was holding my hand, and I remember I was in my mind, I'm going to meet the new baby, and I look cute. I remember that because it's important to look cute to meet somebody new, you know. So I thought today, I don't know why, but I thought that would be a good memory because it's a big change in my life, but that was a big deal. But it's a nice little reflection, a small one of Erica. And my first real word that wasn't baby talk was Erica. So I hope that means something. It does to me, but I hope that means something because it should say, she, according to what I've been told, every time she came over, she would play, or she'd hold me, or she really was very loving. And and she still is. I mean, she's still alive, but I mean, just in that time, she didn't have any children, and she had Jennifer come around every once in a while, but Jennifer wasn't her daughter or anything, and I was so small. I didn't have, I was just glad to be paid attention to. I was good with that. I didn't care. There was no, Jennifer's older than me, and so there would have been like, hey, you're not my mom, I didn't care. I was too small. I didn't give a crap. I wouldn't have cared when I was older anyway, because my viewpoint in life is different. My situation was different, and so my personality, I remember being this person too. Life has a way of ruining stuff like this, but I remember being innocent and just so full of joy, like happiness. And I just remember that. I remember there not being a stranger to me. And it did with her, she wasn't a stranger, but it was like we just clicked. so well. And clearly, there was a special relationship there for me to call for her in my first word. I mean, it's huge. So, and then for it to be such a special day that I remember, that's actually in my mind. So I thought that was important. And I don't know if I'll do more of these. I just think it's not just important for Maghan and her children. I think it's important for Erica's children. So, um, life has a way of changing things, and you become someone else, and you transition into who you are today. And I am glad that I was such an open to everybody child, um, and that I had that. It was like there wasn't any sadness. It didn't exist. I didn't understand the way the world was yet. And unfortunately, as you live, the world has a way of just kind of knocking that out of you. So that's something I wish I had back, and I'm trying to not be naive, but I'm trying to get that back, um, in a way. It's difficult, but Erica, and Maghan, I mean, and my parents, obviously, and stuff, but it's a big deal for me. And so, yeah, I do remember those things. And, I'm sure from Erica's perspective, it's totally different, probably, because I was so small. It's just literally like snapshots of time in my mind. Like, it's like somebody's taking a picture or a little bit of video and upload it to my head. Um, and then, I have memories beyond that, obviously, but I thought it was important to put this on film. Well, recording. I say film. This is digital, but you know what I mean. Obviously, I told you how old I am. Just saying. That's the most 80s statement I think I made, besides the year, as I said film. So, okay. Thanks for the little story time. And I hope you enjoyed that little memory.